3:47 a.m. A small gray plane lifts off a dirt road in the Omani desert. No runway lights, no control tower, no radar signature. The pilot checks one instrument, altitude, and pushes the nose down until the landing gear is 40 feet above the Persian Gulf. Iran has 500 fast attack boats in the water. They've taken 4 oil tankers hostage. They're holding 20% of the world's daily oil supply at gunpoint. And the U.S. Navy's response is a crop duster. Here's what most people don't understand about the Strait of Hormuz. It's only 21 miles wide at its narrowest point. That's the length of Manhattan. And every single day, roughly 17 million barrels of oil pass through it. About 1/5 of everything the entire world uses. Whoever controls that strait controls the global economy. Iran has known this for 40 years, and they've built their entire military doctrine around one idea. You don't need to win a war. You just need to make the strait too dangerous to use. Their weapon of choice isn't a nuclear bomb or a stealth jet. It's a $2 million fast attack boat carrying rockets that cost $300 each, hundreds of them, swarming, tethering to civilian tankers so the U.S. Navy can't fire back without triggering an international incident. For decades, military planners called this the Hornet Swarm problem. And for decades, the U.S. had no clean answer to it. Until now. The scenario begins at 4 a.m. An Iranian Zulfikar fast attack boat fires 2 107mm rockets into the bridge of the global venture, a 1,200-foot oil tanker. The first rocket blinds the ship. The second kills the engines. The tanker is now dead in the water, blocking the entire channel. Within 20 minutes, 500 more Iranian boats fan across the strait in staggered V formations. They do something unexpected. Instead of attacking, they pull directly into the dead zones of 3 more tankers. The areas right against the hull where the ship's own bulk makes it impossible for anyone on deck to see them. They use steel tethers to lock themselves to the civilian ships. Now they're untouchable. The USS Abraham Lincoln Strike Group is overhead. F-35C stealth jets circling at 30,000 feet. They can see the tankers. They cannot see the boats underneath. The USS Carney, a guided missile destroyer, moves in to jam Iranian communications. The Iranian response is immediate. A Noor anti-ship cruise missile launches from a hijacked freighter, flying so low the Carney's radar doesn't pick it up until it's 4 miles out. The Phalanx defense system activates. It fires 75 tungsten rounds per second and shreds the missile 500 yards from the hull. The U.S. stopped it, but the message landed. The enemy can reach out and touch a billion-dollar warship at any moment. The Carney pulls back. Then Iran launches the second wave. 200 Shahid 136 drones. Each one costs $20,000. Each one carries an 80-pound explosive warhead. The Carney responds with SM-2 interceptor missiles. They work. 2 drones vaporize instantly. But here's the problem. Each SM-2 costs $2.1 million. Iran has 200 drones in the air. The U.S. Navy is firing silver bullets at pieces of flying plastic. And they're going to run out of silver bullets first. 5 drones break through. One hits the Carney's aft section. Fires break out. Secondary explosions tear through internal compartments. For the first time in decades, an American warship is burning in the middle of a battle. That's when the Abraham Lincoln does something strange. It stops launching jets. The carrier group begins to pull back. To Iranian observers, it looks like a retreat. It isn't. 40 miles away on that dusty Omani airstrip, 3 aircraft take off. These are the OA-1K Skyraider II. They fly at 50 feet above the water, below the horizon of every Iranian long-range radar system. They carry no stealth coating. They make no attempt to hide from satellites. They don't need to. At that altitude, they disappear into the radar clutter of the waves themselves. Under each wing sits a pod of APKWS rockets, Advanced Precision Kill Weapon System, a standard 70mm rocket with one upgrade, a laser guidance kit bolted to the nose. The rocket costs less than a mid-size car, but it can hit a target the size of a boat engine from a mile away. The lead OA-1K banks hard, wings nearly touching the water, and reads the heat signature of Iranian boat engines through the MX-15 targeting pod mounted under the nose. That camera can see the heat from a lit cigarette from 5 miles away. The pilot paints a green laser dot on the outboard motor of the first Zulfikar boat. The rocket fires. It hits the engine block with the force of a high-speed car crash. The fiberglass hull turns into splinters. The tanker beside it isn't even scratched. The scalpel has arrived. The Iranian crews finally understand what's happening. A gunner on one of the tethered boats opens up with a 12.7mm heavy machine gun, the kind of weapon that can tear through lightly armored vehicles. The rounds slam directly into the cockpit glass and the nose of the OA-1K. The pilot doesn't flinch, because the OA-1K is built around an armored bathtub, a shell of reinforced steel surrounding the pilot and the engine. The 12.7mm rounds spark and ricochet away. The bulletproof glass holds. The plane keeps coming. In 3 minutes, 12 Iranian boats are on the bottom of the strait. Not a single civilian sailor is injured. Not a single tanker is hit. The Iranians try to flee to the shallows near the Iranian coast, water too shallow for U.S. destroyers to follow. The OA-1K doesn't care about water depth. It follows them anyway, propeller turning, laser hunting. The Iranian High Command makes one final move. Inside reinforced concrete bunkers along the coast near Bandar Abbas, Noor anti-ship missile batteries begin to roll out. If they can't own the strait, they'll burn it. But the F-35C orbiting silently at 30,000 feet hears the radar turn on. It relays the GPS coordinates to the 3 OA-1Ks in seconds. Iran counters, launching their remaining Shahed drones, not at ships, but at the planes. One OA-1K takes a hit. A drone detonates 10 feet from the left wing. The wingtip shatters. The plane rolls hard toward the water. The pilot fights the controls, using the rudder alone to compensate for the missing control surface, and pulls level at 20 feet above the waves, still in the fight. The 3 planes regroup and dive for the coast. The lead OA-1K fires its final pod of rockets, not at the missiles, but at the radar dish on top of the concrete bunker. The dish explodes. A Noor missile, already halfway out of its launch tube, loses guidance. It tumbles. Its 360-pound warhead detonates on the ground. The other 2 OA-1Ks hit the remaining bunkers. One by one, the scorched earth weapons go silent. The strait is open. The tankers are scarred and still dead in the water. But they're floating. The global economy didn't collapse. The Iranian boat fleet is gone. The missile batteries are rubble, but 40 miles inland, the F-35C picks up something new. Fresh radar pings. A second wave already forming. The strait is open. The war is just getting started. Before you go, here's the part that almost nobody talks about. The OA-1K Skyraider II was not built by Lockheed, not by Boeing, not by Northrop Grumman. It was built by Air Tractor, a company in Olney, Texas that primarily manufactures agricultural aircraft, crop dusters. The airframe is derived from a machine designed to spray fertilizer over cornfields. The engine, a Pratt & Whitney Canada PT6 turboprop, was chosen specifically because it can ingest salt spray, desert sand, and battlefield debris without failing. The same engine architecture powers bush planes in Alaska. It was built to be used hard every single day for decades. The U.S. Navy took a piece of farming equipment, wrapped it in armor plate, gave it a laser and a rack of precision rockets, and turned it into the most effective close-quarters naval weapon in the Persian Gulf. The most terrifying thing America brought to that strait wasn't a stealth jet that cost $100 million per flight hour. It was a tractor with wings that cost $3,000 a day to operate, and Iran had no answer for it.